A year and a half since release, 17 patches later, community packages, massive content updates with a ton of improvements, and a newly released expansion. Guys, let's talk about if Outriders is finally worth playing. When Outriders first got announced, I was really excited. The sci-fi world, your character abilities, and the co-op, it all looked so damn good, but when I finally got to play the demo, well, I'll just let myself speak for myself. I am for sure not going to be buying or reviewing the game. Consider this my review, you guys. Very disappointed in the demo. Pass on this one, guys. That's my recommendation. It's going on 2 years since then, and it's pretty rare I return to a game I was so disappointed in, mostly because the majority of the games that release in such a poor state never recover from it. However, the developer People Can Fly just released an expansion DLC called WORLDSLAYER that comes with a bunch of changes, additions, and even a new story-driven campaign. And despite the reviews, still coming well within the stay the away from this game zone, with everything they've done over the last 18 months to improve it, and with how interested I was in the game prior to release, I couldn't help but dip back in and see what the game was really like now. I'm gonna do a full review of the WORLDSLAYER Upgrade, but before that, I want to talk specifically with you about my main complaints from the demo and compare them to both the WORLDSLAYER Upgrade and the state of the game now. And if you're someone that did purchase the game at launch and were burned by the bad quality of the game, I want to be clear that I in no way intend to invalidate that experience. Hell, I didn't even buy the damn game because I thought the demo was so bad, but I also am always open to giving games a second chance if the developers show a real effort to correct their mistakes and turn their product into something they promised it would be. So my hope here is that we can take a quick objective review together and maybe come out on the other side with a killer game we all wanted Outriders to be. Let's hit the kill list real quick, and there's 3 main issues that I hated in the demo that really kept me from playing the game. First up are the weapons. Second up is the movement, and lastly are the cutscenes. There's also the enemy AI, bosses, and some performance issues I'll touch on briefly, but I want to focus on these 3 things first because I have some great A/B comparison clips to share with you that really show the difference between the demo and the game now. I even went in and tried to get clips in the same level locations to really show what's changed. Let's start with the weapons, and pretty much every AR, sniper, and shotgun in the game just sounded weak to me. They didn't punch or have any meat to them, which overall made the gunplay really lackluster. And despite having scoured the notes of every patch since the demo and only finding this regarding the audio, I do notice some really notable improvements here. Check out this side-by-side of my demo footage on the left and my new footage on the right. Notice the boost in lower frequencies and slightly more bite and crunch from the new weapon sounds. Same weapon, same location, but a better sounding weapon. Same goes for the snipers. Clearly, some work has been done here to improve the sound quality, which I'm really happy with. I do still have some issues audio-wise, even with some of the weapons that I'll cover in my WORLDSLAYER review in a couple days. In general, though, they've done a good job turning weak and uninspiring gameplay into something fun and boosty just by improving the sounds alone. Let's hit the movement next, and the demo had some really bad character animations and camera behavior that made getting around and fighting in combat not only looked ridiculous, but was also pretty nauseating at times. Check out my old demo footage on the left again, where your character has this horrible leaning animation when turning, and then the camera has a strange sway to it that is visually fatiguing and just turned my stomach upside down when playing. Compare that to my new footage and look at the difference, guys. The character animations are clean, crisp, and just look more realistic. Plus, the third-person camera is steady on your character with no weird sway to it. Here's the demo again. Now the latest footage. Back to the demo. This is a major improvement to me, guys. Not only did it feel like a shitty port that was made only for controllers at the time, but it was just bad originally. So I'm really happy with the changes here. It's made my time in the WORLDSLAYER Upgrade and the base game a really enjoyable experience, simply from a movement mechanic perspective. There's also been some cover system and vaulting improvements which were really glitchy before, but have also been smoothed out and are much better now. Last up are the cutscenes, and originally I couldn't even watch them, honestly. They had this obscene camera shake to them that not only is some of the weirdest shit I've ever seen, but like your character's camera movement in-game, they made me super nauseous, and back then there was no way to reduce or eliminate it. You just had to suffer through these cutscenes or skip them, which I ended up doing because the shaking was so bad. Check it out. I'm going to play the demo cutscene at the same time next to what it's like now with camera shake turned down to 0 in the settings, again with the new clip on the right.
I could smell the storm in your blood, your stink of Enoch. Your kind are abominations, exile.
Who the hell are you?
Outrider. Impossible. Such untapped power, such confusion. You want answers. Whatever you were before, you're something new now. A second life.
In case you found it a little hard to notice at times, here's a couple clips from the same cutscene side by side in slow motion. Try fixing your eyes on the sandbag wall in the new clip on the right, and with your peripheral vision, watch how much the old cutscene shakes on the left. Big improvement across the entire campaign here, guys. And being such a story-driven game, Outriders has a ton of cutscenes, which thankfully are now possible to watch and enjoy without turning your stomach upside down. That covers the issues I wanted to show you comparisons of, but those weren't the only problems I had with the demo. There were also loot drop issues, poor enemy AI, a lackluster boss fight, and performance problems that, combined with everything I just showed you, originally made Outriders an easy game to avoid and to recommend passing on. The good news is there's been notable improvements in almost all those areas as well. The loot, for example, is much better with improved rarity drops. I also rarely notice multiple enemies doing the exact same animation when they get hit that I'd see all the time in the demo. Boss fights in WORLDSLAYER are much better, and even in the base game as you get farther into the campaign, and performance across the board has definitely improved. When I first started playing WORLDSLAYER, the difference in my experience was immediately noticeable, and now, after a thorough investigation into what I originally hated about the game, I think People Can Fly have done a pretty damn good job turning the game around. It's nowhere near perfect, but if they had worked out these pain points before releasing the game last year, there's no way I would have passed on playing and reviewing it. With that said, I do have a lot more to share with you that I'm going to save for my WORLDSLAYER review before recommending you pick this up or not, but I hope this gives you an idea of what Outriders looks and plays like now. It's rare when a developer fully commits to their game after such a poor launch, but I'm definitely impressed, and I think it's at least worth a second consideration. More to come, guys. Keep an eye out for my Outriders WorldSLAYER review, and thanks for joining me today. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe and bell button below. Give me a like if you enjoyed the video, and leave me a comment below. Did you, or are you still playing Outriders, and what do you think of the updates? Are the things I covered today stuff that might bring you back to the bargaining table, or do you just hate the game because the internet told you to do so? Let me know below. I would love to hear from you. Special thanks to all my patrons for your amazing support, and I will see you on the next Gurhm's Garage. Peace.